But we wanted to start our discussion this hour by playing this video here. It was posted on McQuinn's Facebook page, and we were able to clean it up, and so we'll go ahead and put this out for you guys. This is a video that we've been talking about. I don't know if you guys saw it. Racked up a ton of views on Facebook, and basically calling out Guam for clout chasing Black Lives Matter. So let's take a listen and a watch here.
What's up, y'all? This is something that I want to rant about real quick. So first off, let me just say I appreciate everyone on Guam that supports Black Lives Matter and that support the movement with everything going on in the world. But to play devil's advocate, y'all doing the little march and the peaceful protest in the midst of a pandemic, I might add you, I honestly think that it's a reach for attention. I mean, y'all jump on this bandwagon of a trend that you see everyone else in the States doing, but the difference in the States, what y'all doing here. It's great that you guys are acknowledging that, but I think y'all should put your energy that does happen on this island, like how you guys treat Chuukese people. I'm not saying all y'all, but I'm just saying Guam in general. They get how the Chuukese people get treated. They get treated a lot like how black people get treated in the States. So think about that. I know. Some people might get mad at me. Some people might even unfollow me. But I really don't give a because I'm not afraid to speak my mind. And I want to let y'all know that, hey, we appreciate it, like I said, but I can speak for every black person in our community. We can hold our own, okay? We've been doing it for the last couple hundred years. Put that energy towards your Chuukese brothers and sisters that's here on this island. Yes, racism still happens on Guam. To Chuukese people especially. Y'all treat them like so shouldn't their lives matter too? Of course Black lives matter, but Chuukese lives matters too. On Guam, what's going on in the States and everywhere else, that ain't none of y'all business. Focus on here. Yup, I said it. Be mad, but y'all know the truth, man. I think y'all clout chasing.
It on my Snapchat,
Yeah.
and on my Instagram stories, and I said, you know what? Let me just save the video and post it to my Facebook. I want to say I posted it on Thursday. I did the Snapchat originally on Wednesday. I was walking out in Tumon, and I just was thinking about that, and I wanted to speak on it.
What has it been? Well, obviously, I think some of that is obvious, but what has been the reaction, and what type of new perspective can you add to this now that you've done the video? Because a lot of people do videos, and sometimes when you just shoot it out there might be a moment the next day or the day after you're like, oh, I think about this, or I left this out, or I would have said this differently. So what can you tell us on that end?
Honestly, I didn't even think the video was going to go viral.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think that was going to happen. And for the reactions were pretty neutral. A lot of people agreed, but there were also some people who disagreed. And I wasn't trying to say that how do I say this? I wasn't trying to say that what they were doing was wrong or what they were doing was pointless.
And you're talking about supporting Black Lives Matter and with a protest,
right? Right. It's great that people acknowledge it, and it's great that they support it. But at the same time, I feel like there's also issues going on here that people should put more energy into. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt like, go ahead.
You still feel the same way as even after posting this video as you did when you actually said what you said.
Of course.
Mm-hmm.
I still feel the exact when I posted it. When I say anything, I usually mean what I say. And I mean, could there have been some things I said differently or interpreted a different way? Yeah. I mean, I probably could have been a little more clean about it. Excuse my language. But when you're ranting, you don't even think about it. You just go for it.
So what inspired this? Because I know that you were stationed out here. You were out here a few years ago. Then you went, and now you came back. Was this something that you just saw in living on Guam for a couple years?
Yeah, and I just see it happen. I see it happen in general. You know, specifically with Chuukese people, but I see it with everyone. You know, and even me. You know, I've had people tell me, "Oh, you're not Chamorro. You're not from this island. Why are you playing the ukulele?" And I've had these kind of things happen to me before, but I don't like to use that to play victim, you know. But I just acknowledge it that it happens, and I want everyone else to understand that, hey, Guam isn't perfect either. That there's still some things that we need to fix, because I said that because I love it here and I want this place to get better.
But
so we have.
No, but do you really feel like Guam is clout chasing?
To some degree, yes.
Why do you say that?
Now, I'm not saying that there's people who don't genuinely care for the movement, but because it was all over the news and because it was a trend with the media, I just kind of felt like, okay, this is what everyone's doing, so we're going to do it. So I feel like people were kind of jumping on the bandwagon, because let's not forget, just last week, 2 weeks ago, it was coronavirus, social distancing. That was everywhere. And now you notice that after the whole protest and the Black Lives Matter movement has risen again, no one's talking about coronavirus now.
But I don't know. I just feel like when you say that Guam's jumping on the bandwagon.
I mean, the whole world jumped on the bandwagon, if that's what you want to call it. So what do you make of that, though? Because I know at the end there you said, yeah, you appreciate it. And, I mean, what we're seeing here is it's solidarity. People are just down with what Black Lives Matter. And, you know, it's not just really, I think Black Lives Matter obviously is kind of the lead on it, but there are just many different issues at play here, whether it's police brutality, socioeconomic, obviously race. So when people show up to show support and to raise awareness about these issues, and you say we're just clout chasing, do you feel that that's kind of unfair to people who turned out to show their support and show they believe in these things?
Now, like I said, I wasn't trying to say that everyone is clout chasing. I know that there's people out there who genuinely do care. I know that there's people out there who do have black relatives, or there's some people who are biracial and they support it. But there's also some people out there who are just there to follow a trend. Now, if that doesn't pertain to you from what I said, then you shouldn't feel bothered by it. And I feel like the ones who were bothered by it, I think that what I said has struck a nerve, because maybe it applies to them.
And now that because we were talking about this morning. I mean, obviously there's a lot of tension between Chamorros and other ethnic groups that call Guam home. How can we fix it, Cuddy?
I think we should just acknowledge that this stuff does happen, and we should just start from the inside. Because my message wasn't to be negative, and it wasn't to spread hate. It wasn't to do anything like that. It's just something that I feel like people shy away from. And there's a lot of people who felt the same way that I do, but I'm sorry about that.
No worries.
They might not have the courage to use their platform to speak out because of the backlash that they might receive. Because I got a lot of negative reactions too, and I've even gotten some threats here and there, but I don't make that a big deal. You know, it's the internet.
Yeah. Right. What were the haters saying, Cuddy?
You know, I've had people say, "Oh, who is this guy? He needs to be canceled. Is this the guy who put his name in the middle of the seal to try to brand himself? This guy is using Guam to clout chase." And I'm just like, really?
What did the people who supported what you posted said? What did they say?
You know, they supported it, and some people reached out to me and said, "Thank you for saying this, and thank you for acknowledging that, because there are issues that's going on this island, and people tend to not focus on what's going on on island, but instead focus on what's happening on mainland.
And right, and I think
Right.
that, I mean, I agree with the video you posted. I think that, if we're going to talk about racism all around the world, then it's only natural to reflect on ourselves and, see and examine our own behavior. So and I think that, when you do that, of course, people are going to get butthurt about it, and I'm sure that's some of what we saw. But I know that even in the activist community, within the groups of people who are organizing these demonstrations and these protests, that's a conversation they're having as well. How do we confront the racism that we see every day right here?
I mean, let's just talk about it and let's just acknowledge that it happens. I feel like a lot of people, like I said, just like to shy away from it and pretend that we're perfect. But it's okay to have flaws. It's okay for these issues to be these issues and to talk about it, because if you attack the issue, then things will only get better. Slow progress is better than no progress.
Right, yeah.
All right. Yeah, I was just going through some of the comments. Somebody wrote, "Boom. The truth is hard to hear sometimes. Unfortunately, this is true, and things like this need to be called out. My tomorrow peeps who feel this way, gotta do better. Gotta do better." So,
and we all have to do better every single day. I mean, that's what life is for. We all, every day is a new challenge to try to be better at whatever it is that you're doing. And, I want everyone to strive to be their greatest selves. That's usually my message. And sometimes you have to hear the truth, because honesty is what's going to help, and that's me really showing that I care by telling the truth. And sometimes the truth is going to hurt and it's going to hit hard, but people need to hear that so they can kind of get it together. You know what I mean?
I hear you. Well, thank you for your comments and
hey, welcome
coming
back
on the show.
Yeah, just so you guys, I know I don't know if you wanted me to bring this up, but this is freaking Cuddy Q on the line, guys. I mean,
oh man,
this guy is a veteran of Live Local Fridays. I mean, man, we got your cover of Versace on the floor. That is just like always queued up, and we just play it.
Man,
and
thank you guys so much.
Yeah, so
I can hear it now. You want to give us a little sample?
Oh man, you want me to sing on the show right now?
No, let's separate it, Bree.
I know. I'm
let
just
him
kidding.
do this social commentary, and then later on, maybe next week we'll get you on Stay Home Live Local Fridays or something.
Hey, after this coronavirus madness is over, I would love to come back and do one more Live Local Friday. I got a lot of new stuff too. So.
Yeah, we'd love to have you, man. So thanks again for taking our call, and we definitely I think in a lot of ways, for a lot of people, you dropped the truth bomb, and there's a saying of truth hurts. So appreciate it. Thank you, Cuddy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
You guys have a good day.
You too. Wash your hands.
All right. Bye.
Okay. 8:27. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about a story I'd done. This is the last version of the Malfunction show that I did. And remember, I'd gone out and interviewed Deacon Atoy and Jack Howard and other different leaders in the FSM community. And, it was, I'm gonna look for that, and I want to share that on my social media, because I thought it was interesting that in so many ways, like we talk about the issues that happen with migrants, and we had a call this morning, drinking in the jungle and doing all the things that we see them doing. But it's one thing for us to talk about it, but this is a conversation that the leaders in the FSM community they also have, and they also do things to police their own, to spread the positivity. I mean, Manetlu, I mean, God, they are working so hard.
Extremely hard.
Right.
They've been working, even during this crisis, they've been working. They've got so many different programs, and they continue their outreach going into the community. And we have One Micronesia, our podcast that we launched after the Mangilaw machete incident.
Because we know, I mean, it's real. There's friction. There's distance between our communities, and sometimes our communities are like this, right? A lot of times, and I think we need to be
together like
that. And for especially for my Chamorro people, because it kind of seems like generationally. When I was growing up, my grandfather would talk about Gipalau. It was the Palauans. Before him, it was the Filipinos, and then now it's the Chuukese. There are always these communities that migrate to Guam. And remember, these guys are coming to our island because they really feel like they can make a difference for their families. Like, they can get jobs, they can get education. And what's driving that? for the most part, what's driving that is the same desires that we have to provide for our families. And, unfortunately, are there bad Chamorro apples? There are. There are bad, FSM apples, bad bank, of course, right? And so I think with a lot of Chamorros, sometimes you hear them say, like, oh, well, what are they doing well, they are doing the work, right? But, the results, it's not going to change overnight. And what the groups like Manetlu and the Guam Police Department, they also do a ton of outreach. I think it just needs to be recognized that they go out and they talk to the youth. But you know what? Like I said, it's not going to change tomorrow. But those kids that they talk to are going to talk to their friends. Those kids are going to talk to their parents. When they grow up and they have kids, they're going to teach their kids what, they've been taught. And so the steps are being taken.
Right, and I think what Cuddy said, that we need to acknowledge that, it exists here on Guam. Racism does exist, and we need to acknowledge it, and we need to move forward and do what's right.
Right.
And I think, like, when we have Manielu on and with Vic, and he does his podcast, those are just... I just really love those podcasts that he does, because it really shines a light on what the FSM community, the FAS community is doing. It's not all this negative stuff we hear every single day or every other day or whenever. There's so much that they're doing in the community to uplift people and help their community.
Right, and I'm also to let people who come to Guam know that, hey, this is how we do things here. I mean, it's a little different from what's going on in the islands that you're from, but these are our laws.